Good morning, welcome to my cooking channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Today I will be making my chicken legs. The first thing we're going to do is make the cracker crumbs. And here's the cracker crumbs. To make easy work out of my blender, I actually pre-smash them inside the package. Then I'll dump them in the blender. Now, when it's blending, there's times you have to take it off and shake it up a little bit. That way it don't get stuck together because they're wedged in the blender so you can't get it out. So, first thing we do is this. Now I'm going to open it. And I will be adding a tablespoon onion powder and a 3/4 of a teaspoon black pepper to it. I'm going to use at least 2 packs of crumbs because I coat it 3 times. Egg wash, then the crumb mixture 3 different times. So I'm going to be crumbing it right now. You see how it goes like that? If you don't take it off and shake it up, it'll get stuck. Now, if you want to put your kids to work, what you can do is do it the old-fashioned way. Get yourself wax paper, put the crumbs on the wax paper, and put another wax paper covering it, and get a rolling pin and have them roll it. That way you can actually put them to work in the kitchen. Okay. You want it like fine powder. That's 1 pack done. I'll do it a little. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'm going to put it in my bowl over here. See my bowl over here? Putting it over there in my bowl. See? I'm pouring it into my bowl. See what it looks like when it's crumbed? It's okay if you have a few bigger pieces in there. And then parsing it again. Like I said, it takes less time in a blender if you do it this way. Now, mind you, I have a cheapy blender, so that's why I take extra steps. But if you got a real powerful blender, you may not need to even do this step. I'm frugal, guys. If I can get by with something cheap, I'm going to get by with something cheap. And if I got cheap pointers to save you some money, I will pass them on too. I just want to have enough because I know it's going to take at least 2. I might do 3 to 4 packs. I might do the whole container of saltine. And now I'll take it off. And no, I'm not going to stick a knife in there to stir it. See, years ago, before we had blenders, we actually had to do the roll-in pin method. My mom wasn't into buying all this fancy stuff. Even when we had a blender, she wouldn't let me use a blender. Then she realized it was a lot quicker. that's starting to stick at the bottom. That's why I had to do it this way. Now I'm going to have to get a knife since it's not inside, attached to the electricity. I take a knife and stir it because see, you had some stuck that was inside. Now I'm going to mix the tablespoon onion powder and a 3/4 teaspoon black pepper into the crumb mixture. I will be doing another pack to this too. So all I'm doing is mixing it up. And not spilling it. I'm just showing you how that all I do is mix it up. I go by smell too to see if it's oniony enough. Now, when my mom did it, all she did was the cracker crumbs. She does the egg wash, then cracker crumbs, then egg wash again 3 times to get a nice thick coating on it. Then you brown them in butter and bake them. Now, I'm going to be doing another pack because I'm making sure I have enough. Because you want to make sure you have enough of it. Then I'll be showing you how to cut the meat too for it. This is step 1, making a cracker crumb. I'm surprised I'm not sneezing because I use black pepper. Now that I said it, I probably will. Take it off. And what I did with my black pepper, I freshly grinded. There we go. See, I tip it upside down because they see how they had stuff stuck. They still have some stuff stuck at the bottom. Now, I'll pour it in here. Yeah, my bowl's right there. And you can see they actually have some stuff that's stuck at the bottom. That's when you take your knife. Don't do this when it's attached to the blender. There you go. And now I'll finish stirring it up in here. I'm probably going to add some more pepper and onion powder to it. Okay, now. Here's my other blender. This one will work. Oh, I know where it is. I already got some already done. Yeah, did I? I'm not too organized right now. Oh, it's right here. It could bite me. I already pre-grated some. So I just put some more in there. Not too much more, just a little bit more. And I just pour some in. Because I did another pack, so I had to add some more of that in. So the coating mix is done for now. You just gotta mix it up thoroughly. I will be back to show you the next part, which is cutting the meat and putting it on the wooden skewers. Now I'm going to be showing you how to cut the meat. It's not that hard. I just cut it a little bit bigger than stew meat. And I'll show you how thick it is. Yes, I know I don't have a real sharp knife. I'm supposed to have a sharp knife. I may do with what I have. Come on. There we go. Okay. That's how thick, well, big you're going to cut it, but you're going to cut it into squares now. So now I'll cut it into squares. And try to get the squares the same size. That way you have even cooking time. And for fat, remove the fat. Because you want it as lean as possible. Yeah, they got some fat on here. I don't like all that fat on there. So I'll get it off. See? That's the size chunk you need. We're going to do that with the whole roast, and then I'll be back. Now I have all the meat cut up. And now the next step is I got my wooden skewers. And I have to cut them in half and soak them in water. That way they won't burn while we're browning the meat. So that's the next step. Then I'll be cutting up the pork roast. I'll show you that I'm just cutting them. Yes, I will wash them too. They'll get washed. But yeah, you can see they're about the same size. Okay? Now I will be doing the same thing with the pork roast that I did with the chuck roast. You just cut it. Into strips, then you're going to cut it into the pieces. This one has a nice thick layer of fat at the bottom that I got to get off. There we go. Now I'll get me another plate so I can cut it. Makes it easier since this is a bigger roast. And I get me another bowl. And you just cut it into the strips. Like you did with the chuck roast. See? That's all you got to do. Then, after I'm done cutting this, we'll assemble it. Be back in a few. Now I will be skewering the meat. I've been soaking the skewers, so all you do is I like the pointed ones. Put that in there. That's the beef. Pork. Beef. It don't matter which one you pick to start. Just start with one of them. And just skewer it. You gotta leave a little room so when you're cooking it, you can actually turn it. So, see, that's how it looks, unbreaded. I'll be doing all of them like this. So I'll be back after I get them all done so you can see. This is what they look like once they're on the skewers. The 2 individual one is for my friend's dog. Yes, the dogs are going to eat my chicken legs. Yeah, they're going to be in her glee. Her dogs love me. I'll be back to show you how to coat them. I put a layer of thinly sliced onions on the bottom. Then I'll be putting in some beef stock just to cover it before I put in the brown mock chicken legs. Now I'll be coating them. Before we coat them, we need an egg wash. I put egg and milk together and I beat it. Put this over here for the time being. Now beat it with my wire whisk. Might need another one for the egg before I add the milk. Because we got to coat a lot of them. And I'm just whipping them. Then add some milk. Because you need this to actually coat them before you put the cracker crumbs on. Put a little bit more in there. There for the time being. That over there for the time being. And I'll show you. That's what it looks like. Okay, now. There we go. Put this over here. We might need to add more eggs to it later on. Let me wash my hands. Yeah, I touched my nose, so I have to wash my hands. Now we'll put this over here for the time being. Okay, and we gotta get my chicken legs over here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just coating them in that egg wash. Then I'll get me my pan. Oh, here, this would work. My cookie sheet. Put my cookie sheet. And put some of the coating mix on the cookie sheet. There we go. Make sure that egg wash is all over the thing. Then coat it in the the cracker crumbs, I should say. Make sure you get it on everything. I'll make sure it gets on everything. Mind you, this is only the first coating. That's the first coating. So, I'm going to move this pan over here, since that's for the finished ones. In. I got a wire rack below. No. Coat it again. This is a different one. Oh. You just coat it. Now we're going to go back and forth 3 times with this, okay? On this one I'll show you what it's like. To do it 3 times. Well, what I'll do is I'll come back after I'm done with the first time, pause it, then come back for another time so you can see what it looks like. I'll be right back. This is what they look like with the very first coating on them. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the second coating. Hang on. Now we're going to be doing the second coating. Same thing as before. You're going to take it, dump it in the egg wash, get it all on it, and get your cracker crumbs ready. And just put the cracker crumbs, more of them on it. Just dump some more, because you want a nice thick coating on it. Because when you brown it, you're going to brown it in butter. So you want a nice coating on it. See, it's getting thicker for the coating on it. I did it 3 times before. That's all we got to do. Sometimes you could get by with 2 if you don't want to do 3 times. But the bigger the coating on it, the better it is. You got a nice, good coating on it. I don't like seeing any of the meat. That's how much coating I put on it. I cover up all the meat so you can't see it. See? It looks better. I'll keep doing that. We'll be back in a few. And I got that on. Let me turn on a burner. I always turn on a long burner. And then I just stir it up. I just want to get it hot enough to dissolve it. Then I'll be dumping it into the pan that I already did slice onions. Then we'll brown our mock chicken legs. So I will be back after this gets totally dissolved. Now that it's hot enough, I will be dumping it into the onion. And this was better than beef bouillon. I don't use chicken with beef. And I just pour that in the bottom. There we go. I put some butter in the pan. I'm going to turn on the burner. going to turn it over low, well, medium. I'll let that go and melt. Then I'll start browning them. I'll be back when I put them in. The butter is still melting. I'll wait till it gets a little bit warmer. And then I'll start putting them in. There we go. There we go. You can't do too many at a time. Well, that's going in. Yes, I use my fingers to flip them over. It's going to take a little bit to get browned, but I'll show you what it looks like. See, they're in the pan, and I got the butter in there. I might want to put a little bit more butter in there. There we go. It's going to take a while to brown. When it's ready, I'll show you when I flip them. I'll show you how I check them. I just lift them up to see if they're brown enough. And if they're not, you put it back down. That's how you check them. Make sure you are preheating the oven to 350, because you don't want them done before the oven gets preheated. You want to preheat your oven so they can go straight in. 350-degree oven. Now we get to turn them over, and I'll show you that it's nice and golden brown. And yeah, you tend to get hot fingers when you do it. And I'll show you what they look. See, that's what they look like when they're brown. You gotta do that to all the sides. I'll be back when they're all done. Just giving you an update on how it's looking. You gotta get brown more. But that's how it's looking. I'm browning the last side. So it's going to take a few more minutes. Then I'll transfer them to the pan when they're done. I moved them over to the pan. So now I can do the rest of them. That's what it looks like when they're all brown. What I'm going to do now is I'm not wasting the pan drippings. I am going to get me a pot holder so I don't burn my hands, and I'm just pouring the pan drippings right over them because I don't believe in wasting stuff. There we go. Now, you're going to cover it with foil and stick them in the oven for an hour. I got them covered. Now they're going to go in. You can see I added them to the oven. So it'll be an hour from now that they'll be done. This is what it looks like at an hour. I'm going to put it back in for a little bit longer. This is what they look like done. See? This is what they look like done. Nice and golden brown. Got some good onions in there. There we go. That's what it looks like. Thank you for watching my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.